Oh my gosh. Did you see that clip where every time something silly happens with Joe Biden, fumbles his way through words, falls up the steps, can't find his mask, everybody loses their mind. Oh my God. He's completely incapacitated. The guy can't do anything. Frankly, that's me. I fall up the steps. I can't find shit. You guys must think that I am senile. I must have early onset dementia then, because that is absolutely something that I would do. All right. It is the 30th of April, 2021. This show comes to you each and every weekday, Monday through Friday, right here in the Baldwin Ace Hardware Fear Bunker Studio. My goodness. The Eric Zane Show podcast, he didn't care, begins now.
This is Sexy Voice Andrea, and you're listening to the Eric Zane Show podcast. Now with 50% less kidney. Still with 100% of the only organ that matters.
Come on. What are you doing?
I hope it was good for you.
Thank you, Andrea. Appreciate it. Go get your shot. Put on your mask. It is 8 a.m. Eastern Time, 3 o'clock in the UK. I say that because of the, I think maybe two people who enjoy the show from over there. Alan in Scotland, who occasionally checks us out. And then, of course, Principled Uncertainty, who thank you for signing up on Patreon. That's very kind. I appreciate that. I actually had a couple of people that signed up yesterday. It was Principled Uncertainty. And it says new 4-pound patron, because the currency is a bit different. So there's the symbol for the pound, which I don't even know. I've never had. You are the first person who does not pay in the currency that we use here to sign up for the show. So thank you for that. That's unique, awesome. And also a gentleman by the name of Tom Hector. May have been on in the past. Yeah. On January 17th, 2019, Tom Hector had signed up for Patreon. He was a $5 member of the show, $5 a month, and then was away for a period of time. And I've won him back. I'm curious. For you folks who have been in and out from the day that I started this podcast, that being January, wait a minute. My first show actually was Sunday, January 6th, and I didn't publish. I did a live stream on January 6th. It was a Sunday evening. And then I published it on the 7th of January, 2019. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's exactly right. Well, can you explain to me what the differences are in the show, if any? Basically what I'm asking for is how's it improved? How shitty was it? Did you ever think, boy, this is really terrible? And then you checked back and said, oh, it looks like he's working it out. Or, oh my God, it's getting worse. I'm probably opening up a can of worms with this invite. But, I honestly want, because I'm confident enough to think that it's improved over time. There is a real learning curve to doing a show like this. When you are alone, when you don't have shit to use as like a safety valve or a safety net, there's potential for catastrophe around every turn. And so, yeah, I would love to hear what you think about it. Always reach out to me, Eric at ericzaneshow.com, on the Shoreliners Striping inbox, who the folks at Shoreliners, Tim Mayer, sent me a cheat sheet to talk about his business. Do I have it in front of me? Of course not. I'll make that up to you, I promise. All right. Boy, there's a lot of things running around in my head while I talk about critiquing the show. Howard Stern just got murdered, and it's really interesting to me. Being on the side of, being that I do what I do for a living, that is content delivery, and Howard is the same thing. Albeit he's a little bit bigger. Did you know that Howard Stern, he makes $1 million per show that he does? Now, he only does 3 shows a week, and I think that works out to, according to the New York Post article, about 112 versions of the Howard Stern show every single year. So that's really crazy to think. Now, I often wonder if the money that he makes, and he has a more than $100 million contract per year, obviously, if that money also goes to that he has to pay his staff. There's an army of people that helps him put that show on the air. And so I often wonder if there's if he has to pay those people himself, or if he gets all of that money. It's really remarkable to think about if he does get all that money. But there have been a lot of rumblings about this, about his show stinking. And I honestly don't listen. And but I was listening to Carl from Who Are These Podcasts, and he said many times that his show sucks, and I've heard other people say terrible things about Howard. I'm like, what could possibly be so terrible about it? And I still don't know. I haven't listened myself. Frankly, if I listen to Howard Stern right now, I don't really have a whole lot to compare it to, because I didn't listen to him back in the day. There's no denying the success that the gentleman has had. But it's kind of tough for me. So if I started listening to Howard Stern right now, I might go, "Oh, this is great. What's everybody complaining about?" But I don't have anything to compare it to, so it's not really fair. I was listening to the Drew and Mike show, and Brandon talked about the Howard Stern Reddit page. And he said it's the most unbelievable wasteland of hate. I should say subreddit. And boy, I didn't realize how bad it was. And I went and looked at it, and there's thousands of people on there weighing in with comments. And it's horrible. I mean, I get bummed out when I get one person telling me I suck. I cannot imagine having that amount of venom aimed at you. And almost every one of those people that weigh in are just disgusted with the way that show is now. Now, I don't know shit. But from what I understand, he does the show from his house because he's worried about getting sick. And that had a lot to do with the quality of the show. And then there's just all sorts of different levels of angst that people have with it about how he does it now. And so then this all has been unfolding for a long, long period of time. And finally, a writer from the New York Post took him to task and just unloaded on him with example after example of things that they don't like about him now. They're comparing him to being the person that he would always, because he would constantly rail against Hollywood people and make fun of everybody. And now the article was saying he's become one of them. And holy shit, was it brutal. And my God, I cannot even imagine what type of, I don't know. If you're in that spot where you're making that type of money, but everybody thinks you suck, anybody who was a longtime fan, how they've turned on him, There was a lot of these long-winded entries into the subreddit that were like, this point in the show was the final straw for me when this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and just, oh boy. And so in a lot of ways, I wonder what's going through his brain, and being that he's at the age that he's at, is this the end? Is this where it just fades away? There was also something that I saw while researching all of this, that in 2013, Howard Stern had like a conference. He called it like a summit, and it's leaked footage that was not supposed to see the light of day. It was for internal use only, where he's on a stage talking about where he wants his show to go, and there's a room full of people, and I was floored at the amount of people that worked with Howard Stern or work with Howard Stern. There's like 50, 60, maybe 100 people all listening to him talk about his vision for a show. And these are all writers and producers. And I'm like, how the fuck is it that there's that many people working on a radio show? I mean, seriously, there is no reason. I don't give a shit who you are for that many people to be working on any radio show or podcast, period. I don't care who it is. It's still just a fucking radio show. I don't know. Host, co-host, or sidekick, producer. That's about it. I don't know, maybe a cameraman or something like that, technical director if you're switching and shit like that. My God. The size and magnitude, it's something I could never even envision. I mean, I'm definitely not in the time that I was on the radio. I oftentimes was like with just a handful of people behind the scenes. That's almost too much. So I don't know. It seems to me like things have just gotten out of hand for him. It's almost like when things get so big to a certain point, and you, in his defense, as you age, what you do for a living, how you present, could sometimes change, and that's absolutely a real thing. And I think that audience members, it's their responsibility to start to wrap their minds around that. The show that somebody may have done 20 years ago. I mean, just like your tastes change in what you consume, the tastes of the people presenting it may also be cultivated a little differently. Howard talks about a lot of political shit these days, and a lot of the COVID is a big thing. So, people get fatigued from that. I understand. But at the end of the day, people change. Just the way business is done. You can't be, I don't know how old he is. I think he's in his mid to late 60s. I mean, the shit that went on that show back however long ago when he was much younger, you can't expect that same type of thing to happen. I mean, it's, oh boy. For me, I don't really care for any type of show that has really terrible things happening with strippers and porn stars sticking things in their body and then making commentary about that. That to me sounds like rape. I would never in my wildest dreams be around any type of show that has anything. It's just not me. I've never been much of that type of titillating type of content. Mine's always been stupid and insulting. That's the only thing I get away with, is stupid and insulting. Okay, so as I sit here doing this, I am now completely distracted because right now the sun is burning into my face, and I don't know how much longer I can take this. So do you mind? I know it's been several days. Oh, God, it's just killing me. It's been several days since the sun has come burning in here into the Fear Bunker studio. So I forgot to close the blinds. Do you mind? Is that okay if I do that? I'm gonna take. It'll probably take me 10 seconds. No big. You think Howard has to put up with this shit? Hang on. Oh, sorry. that pro wrestler? Ric Flair. Woo! Woo! Okay. So yesterday was an action-packed day of things to do. And every single day is the same way. Like today, it's a brief respite of things that, I mean, I don't have scheduled things outside of the podcast, which is scheduled every day. It's post-podcast that things get crazy. And so today there's not a whole lot, but can I sit around? No. There is an abundance of things that have not been completed because of the days like I had yesterday. Now, let me just say, I apologize because I had a tech issue yesterday, and the Patreon, the video was wonky and blurry, and then I was supposed to do a interview with Ron from MacRonShow.com, the guy who pranked Mike Lindell, and everything went haywire with that. It was terribly embarrassing. I had to cut it short before we even got started. I go, well, Ron, I'm going to have to reschedule this. I apologize. I'm having tech issues. So that's, the nature of the beast. That's just how it goes. So I ended up clearing that up, and here we are. But that was part of the day, and that was I got that Patreon done early, and I'm going to try, because everybody's saying I wish we had scheduled times for the Patreon. I am doing some experimental work to try to make it so that every day it's at the same time. I know. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to make you happy. All right. So I got that Patreon done early. I tried to do the interview with Ron. Did not work. Oh my God. Okay, then. Getting the rest of the things done that I have to do, all boring shit. But the day goes where I have to then get two dogs to the vet, O'Neill and Daisy. Now, I don't know about you, if you take your dogs to the vet and you roll your eyes with, oh my God, I can't believe I got to pay this. Okay. There's no such thing in the Eric Zane Show podcast household as an inexpensive trip to the vet. Okay. And yesterday was a day when Daisy, the English, and O'Neill, my pound puppy, they had a long list of vaccinations that were due. Okay. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be rough. Thank God we got the stimmy from the government, because I actually was counting on that in order to pay for this. So I'm expecting a huge price tag. There was so much that needed to be done for this treatment for both dogs. It's all stuff to keep them, from getting sick, various vaccinations and just a well check and things like that. That it was like multiple pages. Okay. And the way they do it here is it's all, you park out front, they come get the dog. They have a nurse call you and ask if there's been any problems with the dog. Basically, interview. Nope. Everything's fine. And then the doc goes, checks the dog. Doc calls you while you're sitting in the parking lot. The vet explains everything that's going on, what he thinks is going on. Everything is good, and it was a full, excellent report for these two dogs. And then they go, okay, I'm going to put you through to the front desk. We're going to go over your charges. Oh God. And then, all right, we're going to do this, and this. Did you know that they have a 1-year heartworm shot now? Not every vet utilizes it. It's been in Europe for about the last decade, and it's been in the U.S. for the past couple of years. O'Neill had one last year. Daisy's got one now. O'Neill, and you give the dog one shot, and that is all the heartworm medication they need for the full year. Oh, my God. That's because you always forget to give them the little thing every month, and you're like, oh, shit, what the hell is wrong with me? One shot. And you know what they're working on, too? A one shot. So you have a one shot for heartworm and one shot for flea tick. That's coming. And then they're also building a vaccine that goes all one shot. So one shot has heartworm and flea tick. Oh, it's expensive. It's not cheap. It's still better than those pills every month, though. My God. So each dog gets that. She calls me up. Now, I'm thinking $2,000. Like, legit. This is a $2,000 event. Can you imagine that? She gives me the bad news. Amazingly, it's much lower. I ended up getting out of there with a $905 bill. Oh my gosh, let's have a party. So when you drop the dogs off, though, you have to have a stool sample. Okay, so the idea is sometime as in the day is leading up, you got to take the dogs for a walk. They do their business, bag on the hand, pick up, throw it in the bed of the truck. One labeled Daisy, one labeled O'Neill. Good to go. Here you go. Here's your poop. The dogs did not do that. So this is a bummer because they're going to charge you more because they actually, this is going to sound terrible, they actually have to collect it themselves. And they do that. You know, like when you get a COVID test right up your nose, okay? That's what they do, but for the dog's butthole. And the dog's like, oh, God, what the fuck is going on here? Holy shit. So I get there, and I take Daisy out and O'Neill out. We're walking around this little 10 by 10 area of grass that they have, and Daisy does it. She drops it. I go, oh, my God, this is great. You're lucky. So pick that up, put it in the bag, give it to her. Here you go. This is Daisy's. O'Neill, you're out of luck with O'Neill. You're going to have to do that. And O'Neill's like, oh, shit, what the fuck, man? Why didn't you clean up my poop? There's a bunch of it in the backyard that I didn't eat. When she calls me, she goes, and guess what? What is that? O'Neill went to the bathroom right on the floor in the lobby. I go, oh, my God, I'm so sorry, but I'm happy. And she goes, oh, yeah, it's my job. Don't worry about it. So we got the sample from him, so it's all good. So everybody's happy. Everybody's healthy. That makes me happy. And so, but, that's not the case with everybody in this household because Madison, okay, she says to me, Dad, I'm going to get a rapid test. She's going to go get tested for COVID today. She feels terrible. She got the sniffles. She got the sore throat. She's tired. And this is why I think she has it. Now, she has one shot in her system. So I think that when you have one shot in your system and then you can, of course, still get sick. Hell, you can get sick with two shots in your system. The idea is the immune response isn't as pronounced and you don't experience such a strong bit of symptoms, But I don't know. Diana says, I don't think she has it. I go, what? Well, okay, tell me why. She goes, well, first of all, I think she has it. She goes, why do you say that? I go, well, the last two times that I've gone in there, every time I walked into her room, ever, in 18 years of life, the second I turn the doorknob, she's awake, wide-eyed. And the last two times I've opened the door, she does not hear me. She's gone. And so then I hey, Maddie. And she looks at me and her eyes are like all wonky. She looks like a crackhead. And she's out of it. She starts speaking gibberish. And so the last two times that's happened. And so that I'm like, hey, I don't know. It's my dad intuition. My instinct is kicking and telling me she has it to Diana. She goes, I don't think she does. I go, why? She goes, she's just tired. I go, yeah. That's one of the things. Haven't you heard about the exhaustion that these people have when they go through that? I think she might have it. So we'll find out. Fingers crossed that she does not. Okay, man. So tonight, now I have the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. There's a couple things bubbling under with the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast tonight. And I'll throw this out there right now. If you want to be part of the studio audience, I am going to send out the Zoom link to the Amandas, the Andreas, the Jasons, the Nicks, all of you folks who have been on it before. Okay, I sometimes forget, though, because I don't keep track of that shit. So I'm going to do my best. If you really want to make sure that I remember to send you the link to join us, okay, here's one thing you can do. I'm pretty sure, not 100% positive, that the link that I send is the same every week. All right? So that's a little behind the curtain. I think that's how it works. So you can just click it and then you're there. I'm not 100% sure on that, but try it. Okay? Some of you might even be able to confirm that on the chat right now. Shit, I don't know. It's my own thing. I have no idea. But otherwise, just to be sure, send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com, and then I will send you a link. So let's see. That starts at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That means that's at like midnight in Ireland, where Principled Uncertainty is. So, hey, if you're up, join the show. You can hang out with us, and it's always a good time. That's something I do on Patreon, the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. We usually go for about an hour and a half, sometimes 2 hours. I reached out to Ben, and I said, Ben, send me the audio from your most recent open mic so that I can do a Who Are These Podcasts treatment on it, and we can listen to it with the audience and put it on the podcast. I've not yet gotten that, and I think he is scared to death of how it will go, of how the critique will go. Now, we did this on the radio. We actually did this bit on the radio back in the day. So I don't know what he could possibly be worried about, but Ben is a very sensitive soul when it comes to this stuff, and he's extremely afraid of failure and how the beat up may be. Okay? All right. So I'm still waiting to hear from Ben on that, but I'm still excited about the show. Megan writes, Bruce, one of the employees at Megan's Auto Repair Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV, Bruce just watched a Penske truck drive over a car at 44th and Stafford. Oh, my God. That's right near the garage there. I am sorry. Jason says he won't send the audio. He didn't want us to come to his show for the same reason, but I won't heckle him. I'd be honest with him, though. Yeah, here's the thing about Ben. He has never gotten any feedback. So, yeah, maybe I would love him to do it on the show. Okay. But if he doesn't, I think it's in his best interest to pick the brain of people who, if you really want to get better, you can't just keep throwing shitty jokes out, wash, rinse, repeat all the time, and then wonder, well, boy, how come nobody laughs at my shit? Well, it's because it sucks dick. And you need to spend more time writing it or practicing that shit, okay? Principled has that great point. A good roast improves your game. That's entirely... I got the shit kicked out of me for all the world to see. I was forcibly boned on Who Are These Podcasts, and I got a lot out of that shit. That's the attitude you got to take. You got to be the butt of the joke. All right. Tyler says having someone like Stu listen to it would be beneficial for him. Yeah, Stu knows everything there is to know about comedy, including being shitty. So there you go. Amanda says, does Maddie have COVID? I don't know. She's feeling under the weather. She's going to go get a rapid test. Speaking of Stu McAllister, I got a phone call yesterday. Now, just for a little bit of background. Stu has not been able to find the right job. A little bit of background on Stu. Stu was, I believe, a substance abuse counselor or something like that in that field. He's very educated and on mental health issues and stuff like that. Maybe I don't know if it was a substance abuse counselor. I think it was a mental health counselor, something in that field. That business burnt him out. Okay, so all of those years of expertise, he said, you know what? I need a change of pace. I'm going to go into comedy. And Stu started writing and doing comedy, and then he started on the grind on clubs and things like that, and then that kind of, he did that for years and kind of ate him up. Now, there's no denying Stu's talent. Stu can tell a story. He can rant. He can rave. He's not. His show and my show are similar in that whole dynamic. Okay, storytelling, and okay. One of these threads that has been going on for extended time now, especially during COVID, has been Stu and employment. For years, to subsidize the lack of income from comedy, he would deliver confectionery goodness, Dippin' Dots, the ice cream of the future. And in these special Pfizer-like freezers, he would deliver that shit all across Michigan to people who sell the Dippin' Dots. And, fuck that's it. He would just work with the distributors, get the product, deliver it, and he gets paid for his time. And then he said, okay, I'm going into a different field. I'm now going to do this. And then forever, every 2 weeks, he would get a different job. And he started doing it was similar work. He was distributing product, Coca-Cola. He worked at a place where you donate your plasma, I think. He's worked for a bank. He's worked, I think, for a hospital system, on the phone with people. The same thing with the bank. I'm not sure what his job was on the bank. But in the past 6 months to a year, every handful of weeks, he starts a job. He's there for a short amount of time. He walks away from it, just fucking quits. So he cannot find the right job. Time passes. And Stu gets another job working in the same type of environment, delivering product. This time, worms, night crawlers. And, okay, I'm like, all right, maybe this is the one. And so, it's been a joke on the show about Stu's quitting jobs. And about 2 weeks ago, maybe less than, Stu started delivering worms. And on his podcast, the LMNO podcast, I'm saying that deliberately so that you can save it and listen to the most recent episode, I'm told. I have not yet listened to it. Either last week or the week before, he started training for the worm job. And here's the job. Go to the worm factory, pick up the worms, put them in a truck, and drive across different spots in the Midwest, drop off worms. He's gone for 5 days in a row. So somebody's watching his puppy dogs, and then he drives from town to town, stays in hotels, and delivers the worms. Now, there's no one within the sound of my voice who thinks that sounds appealing. Everyone hearing that, all of you went, oh, God, what the fuck? I did that too. The idea of being gone for that long, on the road, I mean, it just sounds like a fucking Springsteen song or something like that. It's just, I don't know, man. So, but, you got to let people find their way. Stu told a story that on day one, he shows up at Worm Central, and some lady who's supposed to be training Stu, it turns out that when Stu walked in the door, for one reason or another, something happened between the lady and the boss, Mr. Worm, and she snapped right in front of Stu. She went, that's it, I'm out of here. And she just fucking quit. So Stu's like, uh-oh, red flag, here we go, this is it. So another lady trained Stu. That lady training Stu had only been delivering worms for 2 weeks herself. So whenever you walk into a job and you're witnessing turnover, the one thing you want in any job is when you go there and the first person you meet says, hey, how you doing? I'm Floyd. I've worked here 18 years. I love this place. That's a good thing. Any place that has high turnover, okay, that tells me people just aren't happy when they work here at that place. And if that's the case, you're probably going to be in that same boat. Stu starts delivering the worms. My phone rings yesterday. It's Stu. He quit. Or if he hasn't quit, he's going to quit. Oh my God. He goes into it in great detail on the LMNO podcast. It would be disrespectful if I told Stu's story for him. Yes, I'm jumping to, of course he quit. Who didn't know that was coming? I knew he was going to quit the day he told me he was delivering worms 5 days a week. There I go. on the road again. As soon as he told me that, I knew that this was not going to last that long. So now, when I talked to him, it was funny hearing him describe how fucked up it was. And to me, the world needs an angry Stu McAllister. I get great joy out of hearing this man lose his mind. I don't know what it is about it, but when he loses his mind, I'm laughing hard. I got an email today, or this morning, or last night, from the multi-talented Mike Pellerito. I'll just read it to you. Subject line, McAllister. If you thought the last LMNOP podcast was angry, check out last night's 24 minutes. He's super pissed. Shit. Because I know the dynamic that took place between Stu and Mr. Worm. And I'm Team Stu on this. I would have done the same thing. Oh, boy. I would like to welcome in a new sponsor. This is what I meant yesterday when I said at some point everybody would need these guys. Please welcome Dumpster Divers. So this is what happens in the world. You go to college, you learn a thing or two, you spend all this money on a degree, and then you decide, you know what? I know what I want to do. I've got an idea. I think that the dumpster industry needs an overhaul. And that's where they come in. That was the idea for Dumpster Divers. Now, these two guys, local guys that created the company, they actually went and hired a company to make all of their dumpsters from scratch. Like, they went to dumpster making university and said, give us your best dumpster makers. And these guys actually created the dumpsters, welded them. And you might think, well, a dumpster is a dumpster. Not true. The dumpsters at Dumpster are a lot different and a lot better. And I cannot wait to tell you more about Dumpster Divers and what makes them different. Okay. So they are our brand new sponsor on the show, Dumpster Divers. Your trash is our treasure. Their website is dumpsterdiversllc.com. And I just wanted to announce that they are brand new sponsors, and I'm so happy for them. Thank you. This is how long it takes. You start working on a sponsor months ago. That was like 11 months ago. So real quick off the top, what sets us apart? They write, uniform, polite, careful, and professional employees. This all happened because Diana hired these guys and got a dumpster here. And I went, oh, my God, this is really cool. It's different. You didn't have some dude who looks like a slob pulling up in a piece of shit truck to drop it off. It really is a professional operation. Experience. Been in business for 5+ years doing this for a lot of people. Flexibility. We give you 2-hour time slots to match your best availability. That's different than a lot of the industry, and I'll have them explain that to you later down the road. Fast response time. You won't wait all day to hear back from us. Licensed and insured. We have all the proper licensing and insurance to give you peace of mind. Outstanding reviews from our amazing customers. Take a look. You gotta love when a business says, please look at our Google reviews. And that's what they do. And they work very, very hard to make sure that they earn a positive review. So if you go to dumpsterdiversllc.com, you will see what they're all about. And there's a phone number there, 616-375-9962. You can call them or text them and get the ball rolling. And if you see the big, bright blue dumpsters, that is a dumpster diver dumpster. Okay, it's weird to think, boy, if you have a dumpster, what does it matter what the dumpster looks like? Well, look, if you're driving down the street and you see and you need a dumpster and you see 2 cars or trucks pulling a dumpster that they're going to drop off at some place, and one is all beat to shit, and one is beautiful and nice and fantastic, you know that they probably take a lot of care to make sure that their image is kept a certain way, and that's what they do at Dumpster Divers. You will save money. You will get the best service. DumpsterDiversLLC.com. All right. And by the way, Kyle from Dumpster Divers is an absolute hoot. This guy is actually a content machine. These quirky, silly videos he makes and puts together on the Dumpster Divers Facebook page. He's the type of guy that I would love to have in the podcast. You know, they actually I'm looking at video of them actually washing dumpsters. That is great. Okay, I'm looking forward to more from my friends at DumpsterDiversLLC.com. Okay. The open and the live stream of this show. Several sponsors we'll get to in a second, but I can help your business just like Dumpster Divers. Just reach out to me, Eric at EricZaneShow.com, for you to find out how it works to be on this podcast, okay? The managed IT service provider for the show is Blue Frost IT. I gave them a call yesterday. I had a bit of a struggle with my tech, and I go, hey, man, what's going on? And they said the same thing that some of you said. You need to power cycle. You need to power cycle your modem. See if that works. And it absolutely did. Thank you to Blue Frost IT. Mays said the same thing. He knows a thing or two. But my friends at Blue Frost IT are the managed IT service provider for this show. Okay. And they do a lot. Okay. If you have them in your back pocket, you basically have your own tech team for your small or medium-sized business. This is something that you could not afford an in-house person, maybe, you know, in that type of setting that costs a lot of money to pay an employee to constantly be there. You don't need that. You need to have a company like Blue Frost IT in case things go south. You call them, boots on the ground, can take care of your problem either remotely or in person. That's what they do. If you have a project that needs to be done, maybe you're moving your business, maybe you're starting from scratch, you need network drops, you need firewalls, you need printers, monitors, hard drives, whatever it may be. Get a complimentary consultation from Blue Frost IT. They do it all. BlueFrostIT.com is their web address, and you can reach out to them. Info at BlueFrostIT.com, or call them 616-200-8550. Are you growing anything? If you are growing anything, think about reaching out to Horizon Hydroponics. Like, what do you mean? Am I growing anything? Well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Could be for your garden, could be for the flowers, could be for the unbelievable amount of cannabis that you like to grow. Whatever it is, you need the appropriate, ingredients, fertilizers, soils, all different things that you need to have a successful grow. Horizon Hydroponics can help you with all of that. HORIZEN hydroponics.com. 4 brick and mortar locations in and around West Michigan. And you've got Lansing, Kalamazoo, Byron Center, Michigan is the growers outlet, and then on Alpine and Grand Rapids. All the things that you need at Horizon Hydroponics, or you can purchase it online and have it shipped anywhere in the USA for free for orders $250 and over. And then use the coupon code ZaneShow at checkout. ZaneShow at checkout. And you will save 10%. Thank you to my pals at Horizon Hydroponics. The NFL draft was last night. Okay. I don't really get excited about this thing. I just kind of like to see who goes where. Trevor Lawrence, the quarterback from Clemson, a lot of people say is the sure thing. He goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And who's the coach there? Urban Meyer. All right. Did you say Urban Meyer earlier in the year? He hired some guy who was like the strength and conditioning coach for some school. Was it Iowa? And then like 1 second after they announced that hire, everybody's like, wait a minute. We're trying to cancel him. He did all sorts of terrible shit. It was like a laundry list of terrible things he'd done. I don't know if he was one of those dickheads who beats up women or something like that. Something not great happened with this dude. So like 1 minute after they hired him, they go, quit. And the guy like resigned. Really weird. Why would you hire him in the first place? Makes you wonder. Anyway, they get Trevor Lawrence. the quarterback out of Clemson. Now, I don't know shit about shit. So when I see that the New York Jets drafted Zach Wilson, I have no idea who that guy is. No clue. All I know is that friend of the show, Jetman, who I featured on this show when he was on that Bud Light commercial. Remember, he's got the green Jets hat, the glasses, all the beads, the white and green beads, license plate around his neck that says Jetman on it. That is my pal, Rob Fulmer. I featured him on one of my podcasts after I saw that commercial like the next night or the next day. And it was a great talk because him and I have shared so many amazing adventures over the years. So he was cool. But I got my pal Mike Ball from MB Distributing. He says, "Is this your boy, Jetman?" And he was with the New York Jets fans at the NFL draft in Cleveland. And I'm like, you lucky son of a bitch. And I wrote, "You are such a legend. Every time I turn around, you're on TV wearing your gear." He said, "LOL, buddy, thanks. I miss being on your handlebars." No, I was on your handlebars. No, wait a minute. Was I riding the bike? I was riding the bike. You were on my handlebars. You're right. And so he was actually there when the players are getting drafted. Okay. So I don't know if he was one of the people that boos the New York Jets. It's quite remarkable because if you're a Lions fan, you actually probably feel better about the team than Jets fans feel because the Jets stink as much. And they, just a handful of years ago, drafted a quarterback, Sam Darnold, who I always want to say Sam Arnold. Sam Darnold. And that guy didn't do shit. So I don't even think he's with the team anymore. But they ended up drafting this quarterback, Zach Wilson. So you're like, oh God, now we got to start from scratch with a rookie quarterback. We're going to stink again. That's tough, man. Any of these teams that draft these young quarterbacks, and if the fans think that they're going to start right away, I think that that's a mistake. My very pedestrian knowledge of football. I mean, young quarterbacks get the shit kicked out of them, man. You got to, in my opinion, you're better off bringing them in slowly, but what the hell do I know? San Francisco gets some quarterback. I have no idea who the hell he is. Trey Lance from North Dakota State. That's going to be a bust. I can tell you right now that's going to be a bust. You're like, why, Eric Zane? Well, because he went to North Dakota State, right? Isn't that the type of school that plays like shit opposition? Like Our Lady of the Poor University? So no, you don't draft a quarterback that plays for like a loser school, for God's sake. Atlanta Falcons, they draft a tight end. That's going to be a bust. That's terrible. Being a Lions fan, whenever the Lions have drafted skill positions, it's like, oh, God. Quarterback is one thing, takes a little time, takes several years. Matt Stafford took a little time for that guy to get any good. But, from a team that's my team has drafted a lot of receivers over the years and tight ends. It always sucks shit. So the Falcons get this guy, Kyle Pitts. So that's going to be a bust. The Bengals, they draft a wide receiver, Jamar Chase. This is going to suck because why would you not draft that dude from Alabama if you got that 5th pick? What are you doing? The guy from Alabama, doesn't he score a touchdown every time he touches the ball? What's his name? Devontae something? Shit, he fell down to 10, Devontae Smith. He went to the Eagles via the Cowboys. In fact, there was another receiver from Alabama who was drafted ahead of him. The Dolphins drafted Jalen Waddle. Now, I'm glad the Lions decided not to draft any of these people. I really am, because I just want to touch on this. I don't know anything. It's just me being an asshole. But there's a guy named Dan Orlovsky. Now, Dan Orlovsky, you've probably never heard of him, but he used to be a quarterback for the Lions, and he stunk. He was terrible. But as he was in the organization, he saw how the organization was run. And one thing remains still, even to this day, the ownership group of the Lions is still the Ford family, the friggin' car makers. So, all right, you got that. Orlovsky used to play for them. He transitions to be a football commentator. So he's on all these different hotshot shows, giving his point of view, and he's very, very smart, and he does an excellent job. at explaining things, and he knows what the fuck he's talking about. So I trust people like him. Recently, Orlovsky made an impassioned plea to the Lions because I guess he would still be a fan to some degree, but he said, look, don't draft a flashy skill player. Do not draft the glitz. And a lot of people were saying that the Lions would draft the quarterback from Ohio State, Justin Fields. And now, again, I don't know anything, but I thought, oh boy, I hope they don't, because it's just weird for the Lions to have, because Lions fans they're all really, really ravenous and dumb. We're all very, very dumb. And so the dumb Lions fan, they're probably the dumbest in the entire NFL. One play into the next season when who's the quarterback they got from the Rams? Jared Goff. If he does one thing that's not great, the fans are going to lose their minds that we need to put in Justin Fields, and they're going to put a lot of pressure on this kid, and he's going to get killed, and then his legs are going to fall off, and he's going to die right on the field. And it's going to be because they didn't draft appropriately. So I'm saying my prayers, holding my hands together, saying I hope that they don't draft a skill player or a receiver, or draft a skill player like a receiver or a quarterback or anything like that. I mean, we got the quarterback. We got that guy, Jared Goff, who for a period of time, he's an all-pro player. He led a team to the Super Bowl, and he was really dinged up last year. So I'm like, go with Goff. This is a guy you got to worry about, and don't put any undue pressure on him or a rookie quarterback. Fuck all that shit. I hope they draft smart, and they did. They drafted an offensive lineman. Now, there's nothing sexy about drafting an offensive lineman in terms of touchdowns and playmakers and running down the field and dancing for the camera. However, there's something sexy about drafting the most highly touted offensive lineman in all of the draft. Penei Sewell is his name. I think American Samoa. Is that how you say it? From American Samoa? The only thing I know about Samoa is that there was a couple of pro wrestlers called the Samoans back in the day. So Penei Sewell is as big as a house, fast as shit, and an absolute, they said, Adam, do you say Schefter? Is that the guy's name? The NFL dude who's always everybody turns to him for the knowledge, expert on shit like this. He wrote, out of all of the picks, there is only one that, now this is quite a crystal ball moment, that is a sure shoo-in for the NFL Hall of Fame. What? They're saying that the surest player in the draft who will be in the Hall of Fame one day is Penei Sewell. So this is a guy who just sits there, and the defensive guys are trying to get at the quarterback, and he's like, rawr, like the fucking Hulk, and just bashing him into oblivion and protecting the quarterback. And the quarterback needs fucking time to do shit. And all the Lions have had for years is shit, but they're improving because they got this guy at left tackle named Taylor Duggar, who's kind of a cock because he won't get the COVID shot. And the dude we have at center, I forgot, Frank Ragnow. He's a stud too, and just a lunch pail to work type of guy. So you got three studs now, okay? And there's the other two. The guards are pretty strong too. I forget who the fuck they are. They're not on the level quite of Decker and Sewell, but the Lions suddenly have a really strong offensive line. Okay, so now if you're a Lions fan, you like this shit because we never have time to throw the ball. This is how it is for Lions quarterback. Hike, boom, get hit. That's it. It's that quick. You can't do shit. The pocket collapses. Everything opens up when you have protection. Okay, you have that just a little bit of time more to find the open receiver. So who knows? This is great. Here's the thing about Penei Sewell. As a freshman, he was like an All-American, terrifically touted. Sophomore year, he was the Outland Trophy winner, which is like the best lineman in football or some shit, some crazy award. So his third year of college, though, he opted to not play because of COVID. So he didn't play at all. Comes into the NFL draft. here he is. That's pretty crazy. You can take a whole year off and get in. He's been working out nonstop, and 7th pick overall in the draft. That is a strong, strong pick by your Detroit Lions. And he's going to start playing football professionally at age 20. Guy's 20 years old. Oh my God. It's still a kid, for God's sake. That's just barely an adult. So he'll turn 21 in October. Lions fans are stoked. Oh my God. If you're a Lions fan and you don't like this pick, you're a dick. You're an absolute asshole. So well done by the team. Brad Holmes is the GM. The only knock on him is that he named his kid BJ. That's bad. But whatever. That's no big deal. And then Dan Campbell, the bite your kneecaps off guy, it's off to a great start. I'm very, very happy with that. Look at this. 3 Alabama players in the top 10. Are you kidding me? Patrick Surtain the second, Devontae Smith, and then Jalen Waddle. My God. So that means that Devontae Smith is teamed up with Jalen Hurts. Is that right? The Bears get Justin Fields. They're going to love that. Don't they already have a quarterback there? Didn't they just pick somebody up in the offseason? I don't know. I am exhausting my knowledge of football right now. I have no idea about anything else that I'm talking. Well, frankly, I don't have any idea what I'm talking about in role. Alabama quarterback Mac Jones goes to the New England Patriots. Oh, you're going to hate your life. That's going to be terrible. Excuse me. I'm just looking to see if I recognize anybody else's name. Kwity Paye from Michigan goes to the Colts. Edge pass rusher. They're probably going to love that guy. Najee Harris from Alabama goes to the Steelers. Look at all these Alabama picks. Go to the NFL. Come on, man. All right. Had hockey last night. Griffins lose to the Chicago Wolves. The Wolves are like a professional team. Or I should say an NHL team. It is professional. I think they could beat the Buffalo Sabres. I really do. Griffins lose. Hickett's got a goal, though. That made me. Joey Hickett's first goal of the year. How about that? Was so happy, smiling with his toothless grin there. All right, one more thing about this whole football deal. Boy, I've wanted to like him because of the appearance on Jeopardy, but Aaron Rodgers, it's just too much smoke. It's leading me to believe that you, in fact, are the problem. You're kind of a bitch. He made it known yesterday, or he leaked it out, or he's kind of like when my daughters were about 14 or 15. It's just always something dramatic going on there. I get when in the NFC Championship game, things got a little wonky when the Pack opted to kick that field goal. But, that's the way that isn't the reason alone why he wants out of the team. First of all, if that were the reason alone, because you kicked a field goal when you didn't give me a chance to win the big game, well, fuck you. That's not your decision to make. Shut up. Okay? If you want to be a coach in the NFL, go be a coach. Otherwise, shut up and do your job. This bitch is pissed off still that last year they drafted a quarterback. Now, what do you want? Back years ago, talk about pot kettle. Years ago, before Favre was an alkie, being an idiot and showing his dick to people, he was on the Green Bay Packers. And the Packers at one point said, hey, we want to draft a quarterback for the future. We're going to take this Aaron Rodgers brat out of California. And he's going to wait in the wings. And they did it with plenty of gas in the tank for Favre. They did that because that's smart, I mean, if you just draft a quarterback and throw him out there, he's going to get killed. And it fucking worked out. I mean, he was seasoned and ready to go when Favre finally stepped away. Rodgers came in and the team was just, they're better. with Aaron Rodgers. He is arguably one of the 3 greatest quarterbacks, in my opinion, that has ever played the game. Last year, he had another incredible season. The dude is awesome. Okay? This guy has frustrated Lions fans for so long, but he's such a pussy. Oh, my God, does this guy bitch and moan about everything. And so he's like, I've decided, I've made a wish list. I'm going to one of these 3 teams. I'm going to the Raiders. I'm going to the 49ers. And there's one other team. He wants to be out west. And now, the latest is the Packers are like, well, I don't think we want to trade you. And the GM of the Packers, who's, I'm just going to say Brian G., because I can't say his name, Brian Kunst, which is Gut Kunst, Goody Kunst. I have no idea how to say this guy's name. He's like, we still think he's going to play for us. I would love to be an owner of a team when one of these dickhead athletes, when they're under contract, says, you must trade me. I would love to be so incredibly wealthy and own the team and just say, nah, I don't want to. In fact, I'm going to make you the kick returner. So get out there, or I'm going to fire you for breach of contract, and you're not going to get a penny. Actually, like, do something really, really sideways, just to bend them over, and then make a big deal about it. If you're the ownership group, let's say you're like one guy who owns it. You're like a guy like Robert Kraft. You get in front of the microphone and you make the case for what you're about to say, and you just get all of the general consensus in the public to turn on the guy like Aaron Rodgers and say, yeah, this is what he's did. He's a total asshole. So you know what? I'm not playing that game. I'm not trading him. And so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fuck with this guy. And he's going to be the kick returner. And actually, we're going to change our offense. He's going to be the quarterback, but it's going to be a one-man offense. So he just actually has to bend down like he's playing backyard football and hike it to himself and then try to keep from getting killed. And then 11 guys just Malachi crunch him right there. That's what we're going to do to Aaron Rodgers. He's a total asshole. Screw him. So Brian G., the GM, says, yeah, I think he's going to play for us. He's saying all the right things. And the Packers are saying, yeah, he's our quarterback. He's our guy. Rodgers will attend the Kentucky Derby this weekend. Make no mistake, Aaron Rodgers loves to manipulate the media and tell everybody where he's going to be and do all these things out in public. The word on the street is he's expressed hesitancy about returning because of being he's upset that they drafted a quarterback. How can you possibly be upset about that, considering the fact that you were the guy that did that? I mean, how can you not see that? As a professional, fucking put on your big boy pants and be a good soldier. You make millions of dollars a year. It's a great opportunity for you to bring this young guy in who one day you're not going to play football anymore. Do what Favre did to you and what the team did for you, and bring him along while you're still the best quarterback in the league. Why is that such a big deal? How can you possibly be butthurt about them drafting a quarterback more than a year ago? He played with a chip on his shoulder all last year, had an MVP season. He's a great quarterback. What the fuck do you have to complain about? Has a great time on Jeopardy. He did very well on that show. But I think the Jeopardy thing they actually wrote down has something to do on all of this. He wants to be able to explore that, and he thinks he can do that better if he's out west. This is all stupid to me. Have you ever heard something so pathetic where someone is at the level of competency that he is, arguably the best in the whole league, and all he wants to do is fuck it up with this drama by going to another team? And seriously, all the money that you're making, all you got to do is shut up and play football, be a mentor to the young guy. But he is a whiny asshole. Now there is yet another reason for me to not like this guy. If it wasn't enough that he always kicks my team's ass, man, we need to. Seriously, I just can't stand him. This is all just terrible. This is a bad look for Aaron Rodgers. I hope the Packers do not trade him. Okay, I've got merch for you, and it's available at ericzaneshow.com. If you don't yet have an Eric Zane Show podcast t-shirt, go check them out, man. They go for $20 a piece. There is a ridiculous shipping charge of like $5 or $6. That is not my baby. So if you'd like to check out the many, many styles, it's all there, ericzaneshow.com. Click on merch. While we speak, our pal Rick from TC Paintball is participating in his paintball tournament. All right. He is in Florida, the new COVID capital of the United States. Along the way, for his ride down to Florida, the rest of his teammates went there too. If you don't already know, Rick is a semi-pro paintball player, and this is the time of year that he is tournament time. Last year, these guys screwed everything up. It was a bad showing by the team. I'm wondering how he's doing now. I'm guessing tournament play has already started. He might actually be in a tournament right now with some of the best paintball players in the world. Now, this is important for him because if they do well for this tournament, that could set the stage for them possibly turning pro. Damn it. That's too bad. I wanted an update on how the team's doing, but I'll have to check it out online. Nevertheless, Rick is, of course, the guy behind that great business in town, TC Paintball, where our next paintball event is going to take place. We are just about half a month away, May 16th. Are there 30 or 31 days in April? I think there's 30. Yeah. Tomorrow's the 1st of May. My God. In 16 days, we will have Eric Zane Show Podcast Paintball War number 14. The Unnamed War. Goes on at TC Paintball. Send me an email, eric@ericzaneshow.com if you're going to be there. Please do it right now. If you've been thinking, oh, yeah, that's right. Thank you for reminding me, Zane. I'll do it later. Don't do it later. Do it right now. Send me an email that you're coming, eric@ericzaneshow.com. And if you're on the fence on it, let me tell you, you're going to have a ball. $35 is all this going to cost you. It normally costs you about $48. Do something out of your comfort zone, okay? And join me at the event. You're going to love this. Get the kids. Do something fun. TC Paintball, tcpaintballgr.com. And you get the paint for your $35. You get the gun. You get the mask. You get a free pizza party from BC Pizza on Lake Michigan Drive in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's going to be awesome. 5 p.m. Sunday, May 16th. See you there. Okay, something else fun to do and think about purchasing. I always want you to buy something. You know me, man. Buy. Buy that shit. Support those sponsors. No screwing around. Quickest way you can help this show is by supporting the sponsors, letting them know that you came from me. It really, really helps. It's the only way I'm able to do what I do, and that is you supporting the sponsors on the free podcast. Cornhole America. Find them at cornholeamerica.com. Get a set of cornhole boards and get ready for fun. Have the friends come over. You're outside. You're throwing the bags. You're having a couple of pops. It's a good time. The next thing you know, it's group sex inside. I have no idea where that came from. You can put anything you want onto a set of cornhole boards. Any logo, anything at all on there. You can also reach out to them about a charity event, okay? A fundraiser. If there's someone in your community who needs a little help, maybe they got a sick kid, sick family member, they need money raised, have a cornhole tournament. You're going to have custom-made boards made for the event. They can be brought out there. That's all part of it. You get to keep the boards. My God, it's great. Reach out to Cornhole America about how you can do a fundraiser, and they'll help you set up the whole damn thing. All right? Okay, that's cornholeamerica.com. Principled uncertainty. Boy, you really say the right things that make me feel excellent, and so do all of you. But you're really, really new to this, so you're kind of experiencing the Eric Zane Show podcast way of doing business, how I work it. So he makes these observations about the podcast, and like all of you, even just being here enjoying it, really puts a lot of wind in the sails. Let me just tell you that. Principled writes this: Eric commits more to his podcast than 90% of the hack comics out there, grifting on unlistenable podcasts. they do when they're hungover and bored. Thank you. Well, let me tell you, that's because the good Lord blessed me with ADHD. And that's the truth. I'll never forget that. Eric, yeah, I've never seen somebody who has such a deep embedded case of ADHD. You are all over the place. I took this 2-hour test. And then I go, really? He goes, yes. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die. I go, well, what do we do? He goes, nothing. I go, what do you mean nothing? I go, aren't I supposed to take medicine? He goes, no. You've adapted. It's pointless. You're old. It's not going to help anyway. You'd become a different animal. You'd be all weird. Everybody would hate you. Oh my God. Principal continues, annoyingly, I've already had the brain worm of turning up and appearing at a Zane paintball event. Despite my best instincts somewhere in my subconscious, it is being slowly organized. Let me tell you, Principal, if you decide to make the trip across the pond, we will roll out the red carpet like you wouldn't believe. If I am able to motivate a gentleman to travel thousands of miles across an ocean, boy, we would get somebody to give you the key to the city. Let me tell you that right now. That would be spectacular. Jason says cornhole and yard beer pong will be at the July Zaniac campout. Wow. Okay. Patriot Nick says it'd be embarrassing if you got there before me, Principal. LOL. I had to cancel this year's trip. Yeah, so Patriot Nick was going to get on his stupid motorcycle and with the too loud of pipes. There's just many things about Nick that I love and even more things about Nick that I dislike. And one of them is the loud pipes on his dumb contraption. My God, why don't you sell that thing and buy a nice Honda Goldwing with giant mufflers so that you don't ruin people's lives with your over-the-top, look-at-me horse shit, okay? Seriously, and I see that everybody is just kind of now just gathering the info that Nick had to cancel the trip. And while he's laughing at me making fun of his stupid contraption, the other audience members are like, what? You can't make it now? Yeah, Nick has news. He has big news. He, well, you know what? I don't know if I can say it yet. Let me just bring him in. Nick, incoming. I don't want to say anything that might be weird, considering, you know, I don't know what's going on personally in your life. Let me just say that as I bring him in here, he's not sick and he's not dying, nor is anyone that he knows. But that's not my business. Hey, Siri. Call fuckface Nick on speaker.
Calling fuckface Nick on speaker.
Loud pipes save lives. No, they don't.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, buddy. How are you?
Not too bad. I'm stuck in the driveway right now.
Yeah, I know. So the some of those audience members were like, "What? You can't make it to Michigan for the summertime event?"
Yeah, no, unfortunately. Well, I guess it's unfortunate that I can't make it, but it's for a good reason. I got offered a job making an extra $20,000 more a year, so
yeah. Okay, I didn't want to tell it because that's your news and your business, but I am so happy for you. That sounds awesome, man.
Thank you. Yeah, it's going to be nice. I'll be on a guaranteed salary, which is better than where I'm at right now.
Okay, now this is the only advice I'll give you because you're young and I'm old. Okay, for the next year, I want you to keep living the same way that you've been living. Right?
Yeah.
And then all of that money, I want you to save it for a whole year. Okay? And then because you're gonna retire a rich man if you do this. And then keep doing that. You gotta live poor. That's the only advice I'll give you. That's the only advice I'll give anybody. I don't want to tell anybody how to live, but lately I've been really preaching this whole thing about living poor and just save. Well,
the main goal of this job change was I I'm actually looking for a house right now as well. So,
well, that's even better news. You can absolutely save, because the fact of the matter is, when you buy a house, you're living with something that's increasing in value. It's absolutely glorious.
oh, especially in this market right now.
Oh,
It's
my
crazy.
God. Jesus. In 35 years, when you retire, my God, you'll have the house all paid for, and then you're going to lose the house payment and have the equity. And oh, my God, it's absolutely the way to do it. I'm very, very proud of you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, sorry you can't make it, but you can't do that right away, but there's always down the road.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I'm kind of hoping I can squeeze something in next year.
So then you sell the Harley, and then you buy a nice Yamaha or a Honda Goldwing, right?
That is a Yamaha.
Wait a minute. You have a Yamaha?
Yeah, that bike that you saw is a Yamaha.
Well, why is it so loud? Shouldn't it be nice and quiet like all motorcycles should be?
You haven't even heard it yet. How do you know it's loud?
I'm pretty sure it's loud. There's no way you're going to drive a motorcycle.
I don't know what you're talking about, Eric. Loud pipes save lives, man.
All right. I'll talk to you, buddy.
All right, we'll talk to you.
All right, I'll see you. You know, and I shouldn't have said drive a motorcycle. You don't drive a motorcycle. That's what all my friends who ride motorcycles. You don't drive a motorcycle, asshole. You ride a motorcycle. All right. Well, we're still going to do a get together. Okay, I hear the garage door opening right now, right below me. You can't hear it, but right below me is a garage. And in the garage is a car. That car belongs to Princess of the Forest, Madison, who's going to get a rapid test right now. I'm going to bring her in. Hey, Siri. Call Madison on speaker.
Calling Madison. Mobile.
Hello? Hang on a second. Sorry. There's actually an easier way to put a phone call on, but I'm just stubborn.
Hello.
Hi, Manny.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
This is your dad, and I do the Eric Zane Show podcast every day.
I know. I can tell when you call me and you're on the radio.
Yeah, I know, because I sound like a radio announcer, don't I?
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, how are you? I'm trying to be all.
You sound weird.
Yeah, I know it. It's not the same as when I'm walking around the house.
No.
So, if with 0 being least concerned, 10 being most concerned, where are you on the COVID scale right now?
Like a 3, because I feel a lot better than I did yesterday.
Okay. So now, if you have it, we got to lock you in your room like fucking Harry Potter under the steps.
No, you can lock me in the house, not the room. I've already been around all you people.
Yeah, I know, but I don't want your disease in my nose so that I give it to...
If I have it, you already have it.
You don't know that. Who are you, Dr. Fauci?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is what we're going to do. We're going to lock you in a room, and you don't talk to anybody. We're going to slide your food under the door. That's just like prison, okay?
I don't like you.
All right, so remember, if you have it, you're no longer part of the family.
Shut up.
Where do you have to go?
I'm heading to a Walgreens in Grand Rapids. They had a rapid test appointment at 10.
Aren't those rapid tests like terrible? Like they're only accurate 0.5% of the time?
No.
Okay. Well,
I feel a lot better now. It feels like a cold. And I was around someone who did have a cold.
I don't know. I am going to predict right now. My bold prediction is that...
You think I have it?
Pardon me?
You think I have it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Don't scare me like that, bro.
No, it's not. I don't think it's the type that it's gonna like.
Well, I'm not scared I'm gonna die.
No, you're
but
not. You're not. I mean, first of all, you have you're vaccinated. It does offer
I'm-
some protection to minimize the symptoms to some degree.
I'm only halfway vaccinated. My second
Yeah, I
one is
understand that, but there is still some type of effect on it. It's your body is established. See, because how it is when they inject you with the first one, then your body is establishing a blueprint, and then the second one comes in. That's why the immune response is sometimes stronger. So basically, it's like Mother Nature throwing in your second dosage, but it's much more than what they would inject via the shot. Yeah. So it's no big deal.
I have it. Huh?
No big deal. You're going to be fine. No big deal. Just this is what you do. Get the test. When they say you have it, you come home and then lock your door. And then we're going to lock you in your room.
Okay. Well, the only thing that's wrong with me is, my throat doesn't even hurt anymore.
Yeah.
And one nostril is a slight running.
Okay.
Just one.
All right. All right. So no big deal. And then is this the type of thing where it's they do the swab and then in 1 minute they say you have it or you don't?
No, it takes a couple hours.
Oh, so that you like leave and then they let you know, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So when you come home, you know that how underneath that sun. Wait, what?
I already texted my manager.
No. Listen to me. You know how like
What?
when you're in the backyard and you're looking at the house, you can see the house in that room that Uncle Kevin sits in, and then underneath that there's like a lawnmower. There's room where the lawnmower is, and yeah. So we're gonna keep you in there.
No, you're not.
Okay, so just go in there and sit there and look at your phone, and then when
that's
they
why all our cats go to die.
yeah, I know it. It's gonna smell like dead cat in there. So
I've literally been so careful. I'm not stupid.
oh no, you got it. It's
Hang out and
yeah.
But I still feel
No. You're a super spreader. Everybody knows that.
No, I'm not. Shut up.
Okay. All right. I love you very much. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye. Bye. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Princess of the Forest, Madison. Oh, dear. Diana, come on, man. Today would have been Diana's dad's 85th birthday. That makes me sad. That guy was a freaking wild card. When you have never really heard about some of the stories about Diana's dad, but this guy, oh man, talk about a Jekyll and Hyde. Diana's brother, the one who passed away on July 30, he used to think that I hated Diana's dad. I did not. I loved him. His name was Jerry. All these wards, they take their middle name and make it their first name. So Diana's dad's real first name was James Gerald Ward, but we called him Jerry. Diana's brother, who lives with us, is James Kevin Ward, but we call him Kevin. Diana's mom is Carolyn Sue Ward. We call her Sue. She's passed too. Diana is Diana Lynn Ward till she met me. And then but then they never called her Lynn. Walk into this house for years. And on a Friday, I walk in and I've got two of my kids. Madison wasn't yet born yet. And you walk into this house in Birmingham, Michigan. And he was an old fire chief. He worked two jobs. Well, he worked two jobs for 20 years. And then when he was about 45, he quit the one job. He would work 3 straight days as fire chief. And then you get the time off. And Bloomfield Township, Michigan. And then the days off, he would work at a Catholic school as a maintenance man. So he worked his ass off. When he finally did retire from when he had both jobs under his belt, he collected 2 pensions and his Social Security. So, I mean, he really worked his ass off and was rewarded for it with all of that. So that's awesome. I always loved his story and looked up to him for that. But where was I going with this? Oh, a couple of stories about him being a fire chief. This is, again, Diana's dad, would have been 85 years old today. When he was constantly, they'd get a 911 call, and they'd have to go to the same address. And they would show up there, and the homeowner would be screaming and yelling that there's a fire, and she smells smoke, and the fire crew would go around and take care, make sure, ma'am, there's nothing. And so 2 or 3 times a week, they would get that call. And they would always be very patient with this lady. And finally, Diana's dad, one of these calls comes again, and he walks up to the lady, and she's the same thing. He goes, ma'am. And he has a heart-to-heart talk with her about it. And she didn't get it, and the calls kept coming in. But he finished the conversation with, all right, Ms. Franklin, have a great night. It's Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin used to constantly call 911 saying, I smell smoke, motherfucker, get down here and put out this motherfucking fire. Holy shit, you crazy ass crackers. They show up there, and there's Aretha running on the fucking front porch like, oh my God, this place is going to burn nothing. Oh, Miss Franklin, it's not a problem. Just calm down. Calm the fuck down. Holy shit. Oh my God. And then for years, before he was a chief, he was working his way through the ranks, and he was a captain, or no, he was a lieutenant. And they used to, you work 24-hour shifts. And the story goes, when Jerry died, one of his fellow firemen told a story at Jerry's funeral. I'll never forget this. And the story he told it so well, and I'm kind of ripping it off, but it was awesome because he described Diana's dad as he's just a hard ass. Okay, he's from Owensboro, Kentucky. He went to Catholic school. He's tough as shit, and he used to beat the shit out of people all the time. And he's big. Diana's dad is very, very tall and just robust, barrel-chested, beat the shit out of you in a heartbeat. You want to be on his good side. And so the story goes, the firemen are in their bunks, and the captain calls a meeting. And Jerry's trying to get all the guys rounded up in the fire hall to go have a meeting at the conference room or whatever. And he goes, "Hey, captain wants to have a meeting. Get up." This is one of the other subordinates, and he's like, "No, I ain't doing anything." And he goes, "Captain said you got to get up." And this story is how Diana's dad developed the nickname the Hammer. And this story goes, there's this dynamic between the guy on the bunk and Diana's dad. "Get up, no. Get up, no." And he goes, "You know what? You're gonna get up." And he grabs him and balls up he had a big hand, this giant sized fist, and just punches him right in the fucking face, and the guy's nose explodes everywhere. Like, "Oh, you motherfucker! Holy shit! Oh my God, you motherfucking nose!" That created the nickname the Hammer, and so nobody ever crossed Diana's dad at the fire hall anymore after that. So years of running into burning buildings takes a toll. Years of running into burning buildings and smoking. And so he would do that all the time, smoke all damn day at the fire hall. He'd go run into a burning building with a cigarette in his mouth. And, this is old school. And fuck the oxygen. We're just going in. Falling through roofs, seeing the worst of the worst, train crossing. Some guy on a motorcycle gets hit by a train. Oh, my God. They have to pick up the pieces. So just terrible. When he got sick, he didn't tell anybody. He's one of these guys that never went to a doctor, and he had something called pulmonary fibrosis. It made his lungs turn into Swiss cheese, and he didn't even bother going to the doc when the symptoms started. So when he finally went to the doc, it was in the last week of life. It's supposed to take years for pulmonary fibrosis to kill you, okay? And he went through all of that, and no one knew. So by the time he went to the doctors, they're like, "Well, wait a minute. You're having symptoms of, but..." And they took a biopsy of his lungs. They go, "His lungs look like he's had this for years." It's because he had. So, boy, he went to the hospital, never came out, and that was that. It was quite a terrible thing. But he would have been 85 years old today. The immortal Jerry freaking Ward. We would go to his house on a Friday. I'd walk in. This is the story I was telling you with my two kids. And he'd be all so sweet, so kind. Give me a beer. It's when I was still drinking. We sit there. We drink all night, play poker. Oh, my God, it was great. And then Saturday, we'd have a cookout. It'd be awesome. Drink our asses off. Oh, my God, it was incredible. Sunday rolls around, and then he's sick of me. He's sick of me and the kids. Okay? So does he just get crabby and just kind of moody and just stay apart from me and the group? No. You know what he does? He sits there in this porch. I wake up Sunday morning, hungover, and there's Jerry, and he's hungover too. I sit down with him at the table, and he's looking at me. He's got his coffee, and he's just looking at me. This is true. And I was looking at him. I go, hey, Jerry, how are you? This is my father-in-law. And then, swear to God, good thing I had thick skin. He goes, why don't you and your brats get the hell out of here? Yes. And I'm like, yeah, okay. No, I didn't fuck with the guy. I was like, yeah, all right, Jerry. I knew my role. I was low man on the totem pole there. I'm like, this is your house. You're the fucking boss here. I go, yeah, all right. And occasionally we get in a fight and yell and scream. But more often than not, I was like, all right, yep, all right. Hey, kids, let's go. Let's get in the car. Let's get the fuck out of here. Ugh. So, yes, described as having asshole-ish tendencies. We loved him very much. Did not expect to have a look back down the road of Diana's dad, but you guys probably have never heard about that dude. All right. This show continues on Patreon a little bit later on today with the Patreon bonus podcast, and then tonight with the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. Okay. If you think that you like my material and you'd like more of my material with different styled shows, I'll tell you this right now, Patreon's different because I don't have to get anybody caught up as to what's going on with the show. You're all like dealt in, okay? Sign up for that shit. At least just try it. Give me just the benefit of $5 or $10 for 1 month, and I'll win you over. I promise you. patreon.com/Eric Zane. $5 a month is all the audio. $10 a month is all the audio, all the video, and the live streams. And of course, you get to be part of the live audience with the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. You get to play Smarter Than a Former Drug Dealer Trivia. You get all of what my Patreon has to offer. Go there, peruse it, check it out. Try me for 1 month. If it sucks, cancel it, okay? Or let it ride. Or convert it to a yearly, and I'll give you 10% off. Nobody on Patreon does it. I can promise you that. All the people on Patreon, nobody offers a discount. Nobody gives you as much as what I give. I bust my ass on it. It's my job. I'm proud of it. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. For the heating and cooling in West Michigan, call Senor Martinez, 616-516-8579. What? You'd like to learn some forbidden Spanish? Okay. If you see somebody swearing at you in Spanish or just having a temper tantrum, and you don't know any Spanish, what are you to do? Wouldn't you like to tell them, go fuck yourself? This is what you say. Joe Martinez is going to teach you right now. Joe, how do I say go fuck yourself?
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Betcha? Wait.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Vete la chingada, cabrón.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Vete la chingada, cabrón.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Sounds like he's saying caldrone almost, but I think it's cabron.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Vete la chingada, cabrón. Go fuck yourself. Say it with me.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón. Vete a la chingada, cabrón. Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Go fuck yourself in Spanish. One more time.
Vete a la chingada, cabrón.
Call him up and say, Vete la chingada, cabrón. And he's going to go, what? Oh, you're a Zane Show podcast listener. 616-516-8579. Or say, your mother's a whore.
Tu madre es una puta. Ya no te voy a dar mis nalgas.
What?
Ya no te voy a dar mis nalgas.
He says that too fast. That means no more butthole for you.
Ya no te voy a dar mis nalgas.
Anyway, call Joe, and it's about time to start working on that AC. Get that thing tuned up. If you did not call him during April, Well, that's because you don't like saving money, and that's why you're always going to be a poor idiot, is because you don't like saving money. If you call them now after the fact that I told you to call before, well, all right, that's good that you're calling him, but why didn't you do it in April when it would have saved you $10? $10. 616-516-8579 is the number for Joe Martinez at A&E Heating and Cooling. That's what we're worried about now, is getting the AC tuned up. Okay. My pals at Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV are inviting you to call upon them when you need your car fixed. The way I do it, I usually drop the car off on a Sunday, drop the car off, or even like during the workday on like a Monday, okay? Drop the car off, and, you don't even need to see them. Just drop the car off, put the key in the thing, tell them what you want done. Not only are they going to do what you want them to do, but they're going to check over the whole car. Hey, by the way, this transmission fluid is wasted. You need new transmission fluid in here. Do you want us to work on that? Maybe. Yeah, okay, do that too. You approve all of the work online. You do it, or they do the work. Then, you like pay online. They send you the bill online. You pay for it with a credit card. And then they say, all right, the car's out front. Well, I can't be there till 9 o'clock tonight. No problem. They've got these lock boxes. They're going to give you a code, which they change all the time, the codes. You put the code in. There's your key. Pluck. Get in the car, and you leave. You're done. My God. It's awesome. And it's really fantastic because it's not like some dumpy place where there's some grease monkey in there who's working on 6 cars at once. He smells like balls. You open the door, there's no one at the desk. It goes ding dong. You have to wait for 5 minutes while he's busy working. Oh, he comes in, he's wiping off his head. Yeah, what do you need? Picks his asshole, smells his fingers, says, hey, yeah, what's going on? Yeah, I want my car looked at. Yeah, I don't know. Drop it off tomorrow, idiot. It's none of that shit. That's old school. Okay? Here you're going to walk in, and there's going to be beautiful women that are there talking to you. Beautiful women and smart men and smart women work there. Frankly, the women are the brains behind the organization. Okay? The guys are kind of along for the ride. They're lucky that the women there brought them along for the ride. All right? Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid. Lady, veteran owned. That's the same person. Jamie is a veteran and a lady, if you didn't already figure that out. Veteran lady owned. She is the boss. She was featured in some magazine called, what was it? Not that long ago, maybe a year and a half ago, as some entrepreneurial award or something like that. I think I said that word wrong. I think the magazine is called Ass Kicking Women or something like that. She's on the cover of it looking all hot. Oh, my God. In that picture, you should have had like all the dudes laying on the ground that worked there with you standing on them with high heels. Like one of those weirdo snuff movies, I don't know what my problem is today. Okay, it's time for some email of the day glory. And I have 2. Count them, 2 emails of the day. All right. Let's start with Linda. Not Linda Hall. She's too busy being overjoyed with all the Alabama players being drafted into the NFL. Linda reached out to me, Linda S., about the issues that I've had getting Bruce, the blue Frenchie, to eat. And here's the latest, just so you know. What went from new food to adding soft food with it, to adding water into the soft food and making it a gravy, has now changed. And then me spoon feeding it to the dog. I have to spoon feed it to him. Now he won't eat it if it's room temperature. I actually have to heat it up. And then if it's just warmed and not too hot, if it's too hot, it's going to burn his little lips. And then he won't eat for the day. He gets scared. Has to be perfect temperature. And yes, to test it, I know this sounds stupid, but I have to touch the food. Okay. And you might think just touching it with your fingers is enough. No, I have to put the dog food to my lips to make sure it's not too hot and won't burn him. Now, if that isn't the dog has me wrapped around his paw, I don't know what is. I'll bet you I'm the only person in the world today to make sure that the dog food is not too hot. Can't just touch it with his fingers. Has to take it, put some of it on his fingers and touch it to his mouth and then wipe his mouth off. Yes, I do that. And then feed him. If you don't warm it up now, he won't even eat. It's ridiculous what this dog has put me through. Linda writes this in one of our 2 emails of the day. Heard your story about Brucey being high maintenance with eating his food. Our dog Dash is the same way. Great name for a dog, by the way. The Incredibles. Love that movie. Dash is the same way. He actually never eats when it's in a bowl. For a long time, we had to put the food on the ground like we were feeding chickens. He likes to play with his food. We now have a little toy bobbler thing that he bats around and food comes out, one at a time. He plays with each food pebble and then eats it. Oh, my God. Sometimes when he's really fussy and won't eat, we have to flick the kibble across the room and he chases it and eats it. Maybe you can get Bruce to eat by playing with his food. Yeah, I don't have time for this. I barely have time to do. It's already ridiculous enough. Yeah, I don't. The key is getting this done quickly. I wrote back, holy cow, it must take like 5 hours for that dog to eat. She says, yes, it's a lengthy process. He's a small Pomeranian, so there isn't as much food. Still, I don't care. Ugh. All right. Email of the day 2 comes to us from my pal, Joe Morin, who in his free time goes on 55-mile runs. This is a perfect example of I'm just hoping that the right person gets the joke. I said a joke the other day on the show, that I'm pretty sure only he would have gotten it. And it's a joke that you would only know if you're a long-distance runner in the Grand Rapids, Michigan running community. Believe it or not, that's a thing. Various groups meet together. Grand Rapids Running Club, folks at Striders, Gazelle, they get together and they go run. Well, there's one famous guy who's just an ass kicker. It's Henry Hoffman. And I dropped Henry Hoffman's name the other day. Do you remember what I said? The joke was, unless you're Henry Hoffman, you'll run around, Henry Hoffman with one arm running around in a circle. Henry Hoffman, I know he listened to me on the radio. I don't know if he listens to the podcast. You can't, if you've ever seen a guy running around Grand Rapids who's running really, really fast and has one arm, that's Henry. So I forget the context of why I busted out the Henry Hoffman running around in a circle because he has one arm joke. But that did cross my lips, and Joe got the joke because Joe, being a long distance runner, he said, Eric, man, the podcasts have been great this week, which is rare. So he starts out with that blast. Then he writes, you almost killed me with the Henry Hoffman joke about running around in circles and him being the one-arm marathon runner. He says, I had tears rolling down my eyes as coworkers looked on as I was listening with earbuds. When you were talking about the 12-year-old also that was graduating from high school, and you said that you were just discovering your wiener at that age. I was a 12-year-old yesterday. He's graduating high school and college at the same time. And I blasted out that I was just discovering my wiener at that age. He says, I lost it. And he says, by the way, I think the 12-year-old should have been asshole of the day. Imagine being the top of your class all through high school and some little dickhead sweeps in and takes your top of the class honors. Anyways, keep up the good work. Love the podcast, even though you are wrong more times than you are right. Your friend, Joe. Thank you, Joe. A return now. That is more than once that you have gotten email of the day brought to you by Shoreliner Striping. When I referenced earlier in the show about how has the show evolved over time, we get this. The email just says it's from a person who goes by the name Garage Talk. Started listening during the WBBL days. The podcast is so much more improved than when you started it. I really felt like watching a squatter podcasting in an attic in the beginning. The hard work's paid off. I was another listener that was a $10 Patreon subscriber and then left, and I'm back for good. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really enjoy listener intros and your ability to share more on the live stream with the screen share. The hard work is showing. Keep it up, Zane. Wow, that's great. That's what I tell you what. My fragile ego, I'm telling you, that goes a long way. Just seeing that there's anybody watching it goes a long way. All right. Where am I now? I'm kind of running out of gas, I think. No, I got to talk about the dog napping drama. So you remember that deal? I forgot when it actually happened. When that dude, Ryan Fisher, I wish I had the audio of that. I don't think I can get it right now. I don't even want to try because then it'll be a huge distraction. That was the dude, Ryan Fisher was his name, in L.A., walking Gaga's Frenchies, 3 of them. And then he got shot. Some kook, a couple of them get out of the car, and he tries to fight back. It was horrible. I felt really terrible about that. The only thing, he's sitting there screaming. He sounded like Homer Simpson when he was screaming, but whatever. He just got shot. I'm not going to. He's going, oh, my God, I just got shot. He's screaming and yelling. And then these maniacs take 2 of the dogs. And then this guy, I mean, he almost didn't make it. He was in bad shape. Gaga was in some foreign country making a movie. Can you imagine being that far away, not being able to do shit? And the guy who works for you, probably close to him, is shot, nearly dead. And your 2 of your 3 dogs are missing. I'll never forget that. The guy's laying there in that video, shot from like a Ring door cam. And then the third Frenchie walks up to him like, hey, how are you? Come on, it's going to be okay. And this guy's an absolute hero. And then it wasn't, she put out like a big reward for the dogs. And then the next thing you know, somebody shows up at the police station with the dogs and turns them in. And that's all you hear. And I hadn't heard anything about it since then. And I guess this guy, this Ryan Fisher dude, has been recovering for quite some time. I guess he's going to be okay. But it turns out that the lady who brought the dogs to the cops, Jennifer McBride, when that first happened, I thought, well, there's no way this person is involved in this. No one would be that dumb to take the dogs and turn them in if they were involved in it. If you're involved in it and you realize that this is not going to work out, you might want to just, I don't know. Okay, if I was the guys who shot the guy and stole Gaga's dogs, and I wanted them returned to somehow maybe get the cops off the trail, or maybe that's what this Jennifer McBride was thinking. I don't know. Maybe this Jennifer McBride was trying to collect the reward. Perhaps. I don't know. These are not smart people. But if I just wanted to get rid of the dogs, I would have gotten a box and put Gaga's dogs on the box and put the dogs in the box and put it on the side of the road. I don't know. I think these people realized that they'd stolen dogs of a high-profile person and realized they were going to get caught, and they got scared. And so now the whole thing has come unraveled. This crazy bitch, a 50-year-old Jennifer McBride, lady who brought the dogs, she was arrested in this case as well. And that's where she came in and the cops started questioning her, and they realized she's stupid, and the story starts to unravel. And they, typical basic police work, they're able to figure out, I think this lady's involved. And then, it's shit like this. I would love to be a detective in some cases and just figuring out how crimes happen, just trying to get to the bottom of things. I think I would like that type of police work. I don't want to be the cop on the street who goes around and shoots all the black people. I would like to be the cop who is working undercover and solving crimes and stuff like that. By the way, if any of you get pissed off about shooting all the black people joke, you can just fuck off, because that was a damn good joke. My God, what the hell is wrong with you? Anyway, so she walks in and she brings the dogs in there, and then the cops start sniffing around. And this press release, police are now saying that 18-year-old James Jackson, 19-year-old Jalen White, and 27-year-old Lafayette Whaley are the ones who were involved in the robbery and the shooting. They've been arrested on suspicion of robbery and attempted murder. Jennifer McBride, she's arrested, and Harold White, 40-year-old dude, is the father of Jalen White, the 19-year-old. They were determined to be accessories after the crime, and they're being held on suspicion of accessory after the fact to attempted murder. So they had no idea these were Gaga's dogs. They just saw guy walking those dogs. Let's steal those. It's what a lot of people said, that those dogs are, they have a high value in resale. So maniacs go and just take people's dogs off the street. Holy shit. So yeah, I would say that if you live in a huge municipal area like Los Angeles, where you got a wild cards amount of people who could be up to no good, yeah, I would be absolutely concerned about walking with a French bulldog. Now, here in beautiful Hudsonville, I just walk around my neighborhood with Bruce, and it sure wouldn't. I'm sure anybody who's ever thought about wanting to steal my dogs would be dead set against it, because all four of them are together, so it'd be impossible. Maybe not. I mean, because if Bruce takes a dump, O'Neill is not going to try to protect Bruce, because O'Neill's going to be eating Bruce's poop. Daisy's got 2 new knees, so she probably can't do a whole hell of a lot. And Benny is just going to be like, oh, God, please, what did I do wrong? So you might actually be successful in stealing Bruce, the blue Frenchie here. Did I tell you the story that my neighbor, I have an aggressive dog, my neighbor lives down the street. I don't know much about these people, and they don't ever take their dog out for a walk. But the story went around that the neighbor next door to my neighbor, who has this dog, aggressive dog, my neighbor, he told me, he goes, hey, man, you might want to watch out for so-and-so's dogs. And I go, well, I already know. He goes, what do you mean? I go, well, I'll tell you my story. What's your story? He goes, well, my dog, who he eventually put down, his dog was on the front lawn. And the neighbor's dog got out and went after his dog and started biting the shit out of his dog. So my neighbor's wife ran out and was able to break up the fight by punching the attacking dog in the face. Now, that's dangerous business. You don't want to be, that's the wrong way to do it. But it worked out. And I go, oh, yeah. So my neighbor's like, yeah, you might want to watch out with your dogs. They got an aggressive dog there. I go, well, that's not going to be a problem, because I had that happen. That dog came after my dogs. He goes, oh, yeah, how'd it go? I go, not good for that dog, because I had all 4 of these, and Daisy is always pissed off. And if you get in close quarters with her, any dog is going to lose that fight outside of like an aggressive pit bull, because she's so damn strong. It's ridiculous. So that dog comes running out of the garage, and I hear, motherfucker, what the fuck? And Mom is running out of the garage. But this dog is coming towards all 4 of mine. All 4 of mine, the fur goes up, and it's 4-on-1. And all 4 of mine, and I'm just standing there. I'm not getting involved. I'm just holding the leashes, watching it, laughing to myself and enjoying it. This dog comes in and thinks he's hot shit. And I've got a gang, okay? And it's just like the attacking dog is Rodney King, and my 4 are the LA police force in the 1990s. They just beat the shit out of this dog, and I'm just like waiting. I'm not even getting involved. I'm like, lady, if you can't control your dog and your dog's aggressive, that dog's going to pay the price. And this dog goes, oh, no, what do I do? So Daisy's beating the shit out of him and biting him everywhere. And this dog finally goes, fuck it, I'm out, and turns around and runs back. Just as she gets there, she grabs the dog, and she's MFing the dog the whole time. And I'm just standing there going, hey, it's okay. It's going to be okay. I didn't give her any degree of attitude because she was MFing the dog. So I was afraid she's going to kick my ass. I'm like, boy, I'm sorry that happened to you. But I was like, oh, this is fucking great. Nobody's going to fuck with my dogs. I got 4 dogs. Okay. So that's all those people are involved in that. It had nothing to do with Lady Gaga. Nothing to do with it. Incredible. We have the asshole of the day to award. Who is it going to be? Asshole of the Day is brought to you by JM Synthetics. Hey, I got my oil filter, Maze. Thank you. I ordered it from JM Synthetics. I'll keep you posted as to the oil change. Very well could happen this weekend, which means I would have a story about how there's a catastrophe in my garage on Monday. Nominees. Asshole of the Day. Ben, for not yet sending me the audio of his stand-up. Stu, for quitting his job. Stu's ex-boss for being an asshole to Stu. Aaron Rodgers. And the dog nappers of Lady Dog's pooches. Lady Gaga's pooches. My God, sometimes I say the dumbest things. So we don't have a ton. What's it going to be for Asshole of the Day? Or you can even have a write-in candidate. Leave it virtually on the comments as you're watching the live stream. Mother's Day is coming up May 9th. Do not forget the mother. Hire me for Cameo. It's going to be awesome. I want my inbox full of Cameo requests. Every single one of you has to hire me for your mother. It's $15.99. I'm going to make your mother so happy. I'll do some of them live. If I have only a few, I'll do them all live. But I want to have like 50 of these. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. You must do this. Yes, you can still do the other things, but this is going to be great. I'm going to make your mother feel like $1 million, okay? Either your mother or the mother of the kids. Do not let this slide. Get on it. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. And I don't want none of this, hey, Zane, it's Mother's Day, and I forgot to do this. Can you save my ass? Come on. Let's get this shit out of the way early. I don't want a huge abundance of these hitting all the day of or the day before. Take care of it now, and then you can have it done, okay? Now, mark that off of your list of things to do. Cameo.com/Eric Zane. Gift of Life Michigan. You can find them online by going to my website, ericzaneshow.com. Click on their logo. All of the information you need to know about organ donation. Thank you to them for being part of this podcast and allowing me to talk about their initiatives to get more people to fill out their donor cards. Okay? There are so many people in need of organs. Imagine that. You have the ability to save up to 8 lives in the, I hate to say it, but the event that there is a passing of you, you can't take it with you. Do your job. Make sure that those organs leave as quickly as possible. Get them in the right people. You will live on in the bodies of other people. That is quite a thing to think about. That's an imponderable. Can you imagine if that terrible thing happened and your heart's still thumping for another 25 years and some soul who's like, thank God that person did that. That's you. That is you. Gift of Life Michigan, thank you so much for allowing me to talk about that. And then, of course, my man, Mario Flores at the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage, making dreams come true. Jesus, that's terrible. Making dreams come true. Get out of paying rent and pay for a freaking mortgage. Get the home, man. 231-332-6505. For some of you, this is an easy process. You just leave them your information, all the things you need to get that mortgage. You've got a great credit score. This is going to be easy, okay? For others, it's going to be a little bit more of a navigation process. And I've said this many times, not all mortgage people are the same, okay? Some of these people only want the big fish with the 810 credit score, okay? Not Mario. He wants everybody. That's why he's been able to do what he's been able to do. The Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Reach out to him at 231-332-6505 or just go to his website when you go to mine at ericzaneshow.com. Now, full disclosure, if you reach out and say, yeah, I'm in Maine, he's not going to be able to help you. He cannot do mortgages in every state in the U.S., so you need to get that information from him when you reach out to him. So hit or miss on that. But in a lot of them, you could be a state that Mario services mortgages on. NMLS number 3035. All right. let's get into the asshole of the day. Stu's former boss. Dog nappers. Ex-boss. Stu's eyebrow bit wasn't a bad joke. Gotta be Aaron Rodgers. Daisy, referring to Daisy as a bully is funny. All right. Any more suggestions? Referring to stealing dogs. Our very own Stevie says, I would steal O'Neill. Tempt him away from the group with a bag of poop. You remember when you were drunk on that one Zoom and you were talking to O'Neill?
Hi, O'Neill. Hi, handsome boy. When can I meet that boy?
I want to see O'Neill all the time.
I want to see O'Neill all the time.
What a drunk voice you have.
I want to see O'Neill all the time.
Classic. You and Kevin Kuiper. That is
Girl, I can get drunk off of like 4 of them. Ain't no laws when you're drinking. Laws.
It's been too long since we've heard that. Holy cow. All right. Who's it going to be? The asshole of the day is brought to you by TC Paintball and JM Synthetics. That bunch of assholes who stole Gaga's French Bulldogs, you got to be kidding me. All of you have earned asshole of the day honors. Thank you very much, TC Paintball and JM Synthetics. You guys purchased any AMSOIL products from Jason Mays yet? What are you doing if you haven't? Come on, get after it. Jason says, you for picking on Stevie. That's not picking on Stevie.
Fuck you, asshole.
Come on.
My fucking Pellerino. Fuck you, Eric.
I will see you guys on the Patreon bonus. Okay, I need to set a time right now for the Patreon bonus. Because I've had numerous complaints about I don't like the random time of the Patreon bonus. So we need to talk about that. And I can't necessarily take input of all these different times that you want it to be. I need to just pick a time that is, okay, because here's how it is. With the dogs, with eating food for me, there's a lot of reasons that are boring as to why I can't just pick a time, but I kind of think I need to. You guys have made that apparent enough that I need to settle on a time. Now, yesterday, I was settled on 11 a.m. Eastern time. And then I did have a tech issue, but I was ready to go. So, there's plenty of time from right now to get it on at 11 a.m. again. So let's just, on a day-to-day basis, let's just decide that tentatively it's going to be 11 a.m. We'll see how we do. See, it's kind of like goal-oriented. As soon as you put the goal in front of the person, then it just gets easier to attain that. So 11 a.m. start time, Eastern time, 11 a.m. And if you're listening in the UK, for the one of you, that would be 4 p.m. I will start the Patreon bonus then, okay? For at least today. We'll see. And this could be a permanent thing. I don't know. I'm experimenting with that. There you go. Now you know. We'll do it that way. I am eternally blessed by you guys being here. Holy crap. Spread the word. Share it. Like it. Retweet it. All that shit. That helps grow the show. Till next time. Have a good one, folks. Bye-bye.